Hi everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I've made it out to the sand dunes here at Southwold for my third and final location of my little road trip today. Yeah, however, the wind has really picked up a lot more now, as you can probably tell. But a location that I've really wanted to visit. I've seen multiple shots from this location and vlogs as well, which is fantastic. However, I really wanted to have the opportunity to come and capture some of them today. So hopefully exploring some of the little pathways here in the sand dunes, hopefully working out to be a really interesting experience today because of the weather. With the dramatic skies, the winds, how it's obviously blowing the mammon grass here as well, working out to be really interesting compositions hopefully. And yeah, challenge, but however it's not raining as yet. So let's see what I can capture today. For the first composition, what I've got set up here is the camera quite low down with the tripod legs spread out because it's just going to increase that stability. As you can tell, the wind is really whipping in. And looking directly down one of the paths along the dunes here, working out to be a really interesting image. Now I've got the camera set up in, oh, I'm getting blasted by the sand. Got the camera set up in portrait orientation and taking several images to create a panorama, working out to be really interesting. Now I've got the camera set up on f11 ISO 100 and approximately 80th of a second as the base image, however exposing 2 stops either side, just because of that dynamic range. The direction that I'm shooting in is where the sun is, even though it's behind the clouds, obviously it's very bright compared to the foreground. And just having that dynamic range in the bag, so when you do go back to post-processing, you can obviously manipulate the images or use as much of the image as you possibly can. So yeah, hopefully working out really well for this one. I quite like it where obviously directly above me I've got some dark sky, so hopefully that will be sort of the top of the image, and then obviously with the marram grass in the middle and the sand dunes as well, so working out to be really interesting shoot so far. The next composition is of these beach huts that's here at Southwold. They have been captured thousands of times. However, that's not really my worry. The trouble is, there's so many iconic locations that you can visit as a photographer. Are you going to find a unique composition? Possibly, but probably not. There's so many photographers now, and photography is so accessible, which is an amazing thing, to be fair, but to come up with a unique composition and a unique image is going to be very, very hard from locations that you don't often visit. So capturing these beach huts is never going to be a new thing that you haven't seen before. However, what can be different is the weather conditions and also how you be creative when you're actually capturing the images as well. So I've taken two compositions, kept the tripod pretty much in the same position. I've taken a composition at f11 ISO 100, and then also taken another composition, same settings, however put on the 10-stop filter and done a 6 and an 8 second exposure as well, to work out to be a little bit more interesting, to capitalise on the weather conditions that we've actually got here today. Because of the wind, because of the movement in the sky, and particularly in obviously the foreground as well, will hopefully create that little bit more of a unique image. Yeah, composition wise it's probably not going to be anything different to what's been captured thousands of times before, as I said, but hopefully obviously with the weather conditions playing them in my favour, which is the key thing really when you're out shooting, is looking at what you can actually do to capitalise on the weather rather than use it or hinder you when you're actually out shooting. So hopefully, yeah, those two compositions working out really well. One of the key things I had to make sure I did for today's shoot on my road trip is to reinforce my vlogging camera tripod. As those regular viewers know, it has a huge tendency to blow over. I think it's lighter than a feather in some cases. However, what I've done is put these bags of lead weight around it, which has caused problems with having to carry it around, but however it's increased the stability hugely. There are some diving weights that I used to use when I went scuba diving, but have come in really handy, and putting them in some old dry bags as well, being able to easily clip onto the actual tripod, and using some of the cable ties as well, so working out to be really good stability for these conditions where it's been really, really windy. So yes, paid off in the end. I could spend hours exploring these sand dunes for different compositions. However, that said, I don't think I'm going to really come up with anything different from when the first composition that I captured. It's all going to be very, very similar, and that's one of the difficulties about coming to a location. Is you want to try and capture as much as possible. When you get back to post-processing, they're all pretty much the same. Yeah, okay, slight difference, maybe the light is different, cloud, etc, etc, but the composition overall is going to be the same from one image to the next. But yeah, I've really enjoyed myself coming out here to the beach huts at Southwold, and in total I've really enjoyed the three locations that I visited. It's yeah, obviously a full day out, getting up at 4:45 in the morning, and obviously driving to Felixstowe, and then obviously on here to Southwold and the two locations here in Southwold. But worked out to be really interesting. Hopefully you enjoyed the three locations that I visited, and please make sure you leave us a comment. I really do enjoy those comments and those feedbacks about what you felt, and if you've been here before to the three locations that I visited, any captured images that you've been able to find is really well worth sharing if you can. Yeah, hopefully, as I say, you've enjoyed coming along with me on these three locations. If you have and it's your first time watching my content, please consider subscribing. As always, for those that have already subscribed, so much thanks is obviously heading your way, because I'm really, really appreciative of everyone that's obviously subscribed to my channel. Your support and encouragement has made me want to get out of bed at 4:45 in the morning, come out and do these vlogs. And yeah, maybe not the best conditions that we didn't get a sunrise, unfortunately, but that doesn't matter really. It's coming out, exploring new locations, working with the conditions that you've actually got, and hopefully coming away with 2 or 3 images is always a plus point. But thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, take care.